sometimes you'll overprice the property. Let's say you list it for $900,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have another seller that comes in the market for $850,000, maybe 6 homes down, right? All of a sudden, that property goes under contract and sells, let's say within 15, 20 days. And then you're just sitting on the market. But now you no longer can sell your property for $900,000 because now you have a comp that's lower than what you're asking, 850. At best, you may get maybe in the middle. Welcome to our Bay Area Home Hustle podcast. I'm your host, Parm Rahi. I'm joined by my co-host, Michael Brown.
Hi
And
guys.
yeah, this is episode 1. We're very excited. I'm very
Man,
excited.
this is like a maiden voyage.
Yeah, there is. That's definitely true. So our goal is to be your resource in this podcast, right? In terms of real estate strategies, tips, and tricks. And whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seller or maybe an investor looking to expand your portfolio, we want to be your guide. We want to help you expand, help you share some ideas and knowledge and so forth. The first thing we should do is we should introduce ourselves. So, Mike, why don't you go ahead and take the baton on
Well,
that?
you gave them my name already, but anyway, let me rephrase this. Mike Brown. I've been a realtor for God, I can't remember, since 1997. Okay, so I've been doing buying and selling. Started in the East Bay, San Leandro was my very first brokerage, and been doing this. And somehow Parm and I hooked up maybe 20 years back.
Yeah, it's been a
On and
while.
off. Yeah, it's been we've been partners for a long time. But anyway, so when I first got into, like most agents, we start off with being a buyer's agent.
Yep.
And then you start picking up experience, and later on your returning clients become the sellers, right? But here's something that most people don't know. A lot of you don't like dealing with being buyer's agents.
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot, guys. The reason why is because you know what? Everybody's got to start somewhere, right? There's always going to be some brand new buyer, and they're like a babe in the woods, right? I mean, they have no idea at all what's going on.
Right.
So my thing is, I enjoy educating them.
Right. I mean, yeah, you're guiding them essentially, so
Right.
it's good.
Right, and the more knowledgeable they are, the better decisions they make.
Right, 100%. Well, that's true. All right, well, my turn, I guess. My name is Parm Rahi, as you can already know that probably, and I've been in the real estate market for about 20 years now, roughly 20 years. Prior to that, I was in IT and so forth. So this is sort of a pivot on my career goals. So I've seen both on the sales side, and I'll also seen the management side of real estate as well too. Because I most recently parted way with a franchise office called Realty One Group in Oakland, California, where we had about 50 agents or so. And so I've seen transactions, stemming from this side, and then also on the back side, I've seen lawsuits, I've seen issues that come up, kind of seen it all. So now my goal is to really run just a small team, which we are already about 4 to 5 agents, and just expand and help out buyers and sellers, because I feel like there's not enough information out there, or there's at least ill-informed information.
To piggyback on what you just said about lawsuits,
Yeah.
As I said, the more knowledgeable the clients are,
Right.
the less chance of getting lawsuits.
100%. And that's what we want to mitigate. I think you've seen it too, right? As we go and talk to new buyers and sellers, you can see that they're just not informed. They just
Yeah.
don't know what to do. I mean, they're just clueless, right? But there's a lot of good agents out there too that sort of guide you in the transaction, but there's a lot of shit agents out there too.
Yeah, and
That
it's
just-
really scary. Right?
And it's scary, right? And there's a lot of noise right now too in
Right.
social media, especially, right? If you follow certain people and stuff. I mean, it's endless. So we wanted to do something different. So I think this podcast was like an idea. Okay, let's try to do something different. Let's try to teach. Let's try to guide. Let's add value
Simplify it.
simplify. Let's add value before you get into the transaction, as opposed to being in the transaction saying, "Oh, what happens next?" Right? So our goal is really just to empower you with knowledge. So when you go buy or sell a property, you can confidently make that decision. Kind of like when you, I don't know, buy like a used car or something. You do research first. And
Yeah,
then you go,
you
execute it.
test drive it.
Right. So we want to, or at least we want to do is we want to help you to a point when you walk in to interview an agent,
Right.
you kind of know what to expect
What to ask.
or what to ask. Rather,
Right.
Perfect.
What to ask, because you know what? There's specific questions that you want to ask your agent should you choose, because it's best to interview several,
Right.
right?
100%.
And it's not just how many years of experience they have. They could be an old timer who's getting ready to retire, that's
Right.
not active on social media,
Right.
right? But also you can have a young one who is very active on social media but's lacking of an
Right.
experience, right? So you got to be able to feel them out. And you know what's really amazing is we as agents have a relationship with our buyers and sellers. It
Right.
becomes a 1-2 punch together. It's like a dance,
100%. 100%.
dance partner.
Right. So let's jump into the next topic, which is sort of what's happening, what's the climate like right now in real estate, right? So I'm feeling is really right. Inventory is still tight, right?
Very tight.
Inventory is still tight. I
Right.
mean, contrary to what the news, is reporting every day, it's still
Right.
tight. And then rates are very much inflated, right? Rates are really elevated right
They,
now.
they were fluctuating.
They were
Yeah,
fluctuating,
they were high. They went down a little bit, and then they're back to high again.
right? With
Right.
the recent CPI data and all that,
Right.
right? I mean,
Right.
it's just hot. So we'll see what happens this month. I think there's another reporting comes out on the 10th.
Right.
Maybe it'll be better, and maybe rates will fluctuate. Who knows? We're not predicting that, but I believe, you know, homes are still to this day are tight, right? There's just not a lot of inventory left still, right? So to kick that off, I mean, to talk about today's current market, I want to talk about like 5 sort of mistakes that you should try to avoid when you're buying or selling, right?
There's more than
Well,
five. Let's just narrow it down to
well,
five.
we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna kind of stick to only 5 mistakes, right? I want to stick to 5 mistakes. Like the first one is like, and you've seen this a lot more, like not getting pre-approved. There's like a very basic thing, but you've seen buyers, you've seen clients call you up, right? Like, hey, I want to go look at this property, and like,
No. They tell me I want to buy this property.
right. So what do you think? What do you think they should do? Maybe you can just add value
Well,
there.
well, again, it's pre-approval. Okay, so what is a pre-approval? Is actually you're in contact with your lender. It could be
Right.
your bank or mortgage broker, right? And they will look at how much home you can buy, pretty much.
Yeah, you look at your finances and
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
tell you
Bank
like
statements, your income, your debt to income ratio, So
100%.
that actually really helps you and the agent that you choose to use to actually find that spectrum, that price range.
Right, no, 100%. And then, yeah, it's crucial, I think, before you walk in and start looking at
Yeah.
properties, you know what you can afford, right? I mean, it's a
And it's
real estate
depressing.
101.
It's depressing that you find a home for say 900,000, you love it,
Yeah,
but
and
the
then
problem is the maximum that you can pay is 800. So you're like devastated.
right, you find out like you can't afford it, 100%. And then the other thing, segue into the next topic, is like when you find a home, and this is one of the mistakes that I've seen buyers, and I'm sure you have too, neglecting home inspections, right? Sometimes and it depends, right? If you are in a bidding war situation sometimes, right, and you have to make these decisions like, okay, I'll skip the home inspection and I'll keep everything else, which is like the basic thing. But I think we're not in that situation right now. There's inventory, there's not a lot of buyers. So in this market right now, if you're shopping, I think it's crucial if you should look at the home inspection.
Not just okay. So we're always looking at resales, right? Resales are older homes, right? They're
Right,
not brand new construction.
right.
But let me tell you guys this: even with brand new construction from the builder,
There
you should still look at home inspections
Yeah,
because there's always going to be defects that the eye cannot see. Now, talking about the resales, there's like, okay, so eyeballing things, everything's fine. When you look at a house, everything looks good, just painted,
yeah.
it's staged, but there could have foundation issues. You could have
You're right.
roof issues.
And these inspections are done by third party professionals, right? This
Exactly.
is their trade basically, right? So you want to make sure you do that.
It covers you.
Right, it covers you. And 99% of the time now, I mean, I've seen is that a lot of agents, good agents at least, will do the home inspection, preemptive home inspections
Oh,
anyways,
yeah.
right? They'll provide those reports for you.
Exactly.
So you can take their report and look through it if you don't want to do your own. And some people prefer to look at that and do their own as well too. But that's one of the biggest mistakes that you want to avoid. Do your home inspection. Look at those. Look what's happening with the property. Look how it's maintained and so forth. And that way you can kind of forecast what's going to happen down the line and be prepared for those.
Home inspections are really, to me, it's crucial because it's actually an open door to a lawsuit.
It is 100%.
And then that's what we all want to avoid.
Absolutely, and that's just yeah, you don't want to go down that line at all. It can be very costly when if you get into that.
And home inspections don't cost that much.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, even if you choose to do your own, even if the seller has produced one, a home inspection, the roof and everything, you
Right,
can still do yours.
right, 100%. The next one I want to skip over to the other side is on the seller side is ignoring repairs, right? This is a crucial one too. So if you're in the market now or going in the market soon, do those small repairs. I understand sometimes you don't have the funds to like put in a brand new kitchen and bathrooms and lighting and all this other stuff to sell the property because that's something your agent might propose or so forth.
Right.
But do the small things, right? Fix the faucet, fix the leaks, fix the caulking in the bathrooms or something, right?
Stuff that you guys can
Stuff that
do
you can do
yourself.
yourself,
You
right?
know,
Make sure you
slaps
do
a
that.
lick of paint.
Right, because
You
what
know?
you want to do is you want to at least show the buyers that you are maintaining the home, right? Cut the grass in the backyard, make it clean looking, right? Remove the junk out of there, right? That's some of the things you can do on your own. That you don't need a real estate agent to do that.
Two things: it gives you your home more value.
100%.
Okay. Second, as Parm said, the potential buyer sees that this seller really loves the home,
Right.
takes care of the home,
Yep.
and I feel better if I were to make a bid on it because I know that it's going to be well maintained.
Right. 100%. And the inspection might reveal some other truths or something, but which is fine. But at least maintain it. At least show the buyers you've been living in it, but you've been maintaining the home, right? That's a crucial one.
Paint is the easiest.
Easiest
You
thing
can do it yourself.
100%.
Cleaning, you know,
Yep.
you can do it yourself.
Right. And then
Decluttering is a good one.
that's a good one, right? That is a good
Decluttering
one.
is very important. Stuff that you don't need and you know that once you sell, you're going to throw it out first.
Right. And segue into is like when you're going on the market, another mistake that people make now is overpricing your home, right? This is we've seen this firsthand. We've seen it with our clients. We've seen it when you go interview these sellers and so forth. Sometimes they have a number in mind, which was I don't know. They're looking at the Zillows and all these red estimates and so forth.
The
right?
problem with that is there are a lot of websites that are not really accurate.
Right.
They're accurate up to a point because they pull it from our MLS.
Right. And they take into consideration, remember, automated websites, well, that's the whole point of an automated website, and especially Zillow value estimates and so forth. It is that they look at a property in a specific neighborhood, what it sells for for a specific square footage,
Right.
and they base the value on that, right? But it's not taking into consideration inside of the property, what you've done to the house. Maybe you put in a brand new kitchen, or maybe you did electrical work or a new roof.
Right.
None of those things are considered into the value, right?
Right.
And that's what you want to avoid. And then other thing I wanted to say is that the other reason you want to avoid overpricing your home is that sometimes this will happen. I'll give you an example. Sometimes you'll overprice the property. Let's say you list it for $900,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have another seller that comes in the market for $850,000, maybe 6 homes down, right? All of a sudden, that property goes under contract and sells, let's say within 15, 20 days. And then you're just sitting on the market. But now you no longer can sell your property for $900,000 because now you have a comp that's lower than what you're asking, $850,000. At best, you may get maybe in the middle, at best, but you will not get $900,000.
Plus, the problem is your property becomes stale.
Right. That's another reason. So ultimately, you have to take the property off market or reduce the price significantly, right? That's something you want to avoid because that's happening too. And you got to make sure your agent, and a lot of good agents will know this, and a lot of good agents will just go 30 days. They'll look at comps for 30 days and tell you what the value is, right?
Right.
Or if they can't find for 30 days, they'll go into 45 days and 60 days and so forth, right?
Right.
Don't just jump to like 90 days comp. So what happened 90 days ago, it would not
Remember
matter.
2019, 2020?
Right.
During the pandemic, prices skyrocketed,
Prices
right?
skyrocketed.
Because of the demand.
Right.
But now we're 5 years down.
Yeah.
Right?
Now the
things
demand
have
has
changed.
shifted. Yeah.
So you don't start thinking, well, back in that 5 years ago, I could get it for this amount.
Yeah.
Prices have changed.
Right. No, prices have changed. And you have to think about it, right? Now prices are increasing at a very micro level too, right?
Yes.
It's going to be what it was in 2018, 2019.
Right.
It's going to be specific cities in the Bay Area that are seeing appreciations because of the condition they're in and what they're selling for and so
School
forth.
district.
School district is another good one.
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a Starbucks.
Right.
Maybe all of a sudden the value goes up too, right? but it won't appreciate the way it did in 2020. And that was
Right,
all just demand, pent
right,
up, not
right.
only pent up demand, it was more
It's psychological to me.
psychological,
Yeah.
working from home,
Right,
or
right.
it's, well, yeah, absolutely. And one more thing I want to add to on the listing side of the thing is, and this is another mistake that people make, is um, sometimes they'll list their property with an agent that's related, or they don't have a choice, or they've sold them the house or something, so they feel obligated. And I've noticed is poor quality
I know.
pictures, listing photos, essentially, right?
Right.
Your property goes on the market, and this agent, and remember, when you interview an agent, right, one of the things they're going to try to sell you on is going to tell you about themselves and so forth, but they're going to say, I do videography, photography, and professional websites,
Right,
blah blah
right,
blah
right,
blah,
right,
right?
right, right.
You want to make sure you take professional pictures for your property.
Right.
You can't
Not just with your iPhone,
you
man.
can't do that. And I've seen this. This is specifically done to lease 3 listings here in Hercules, California, as of today, that I've seen pictures of just like the wall, the sofa, the stairs. I mean, it's just hideous. It's like, remember, your property is like, it's getting married, essentially. It's exchanging hands,
Right,
right?
right,
You want to put
right.
the best foot forward, right? You
Exactly.
want to show the best of what your home has to offer, and not just random pictures. And random pictures will work. If you're going to sell your property for $500,000 and the value is $900,000, then sure, go for it. Do whatever pictures you want, because people will show up, right? But if you want what the comps are saying, you need to put a better picture on the MLS.
Also, the pictures are 1,000 words, man. You bring the people in. So,
100%.
if your pictures are ugly, go, wow, man, this house looks like hasn't been done. Nothing's been done for 20 years. I'm not going to go to that open house.
Right. It's very difficult to showcase, like a terrible picture and then expect people to like
Yeah.
bid on it, like, or even show up to your open house. It's just, I don't know. I think and I think it's a disservice to our industry as
Yes,
well too, right?
yes.
I mean, not that I'm trying to go down that road, but it is a disservice, right? It's sort of like, okay, it tells you like, okay, we're not doing anything.
That's why we have that team. We got the video guy, we got the photography guy,
100%.
the drone guy.
Yeah. So let's jump into the next thing, is our predictions for the new year. Well, it's January, so we have to do that. So, Mike, what is your predictions for the new year?
Okay,
You
guys have heard of Shiba Inu, right? The cryptocurrency, the meme coin. Right now, it's like 5 zeros, below point, the point, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to predict that in 2025, and I'm hoping, for my own selfish reasons, it goes up to 1 cent. It's like jump 4 zeros.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Maybe. I mean, anything can happen in prediction.
You never know, man.
Yeah, but in terms of like other things like real estate, is I think home prices will steadily increase, right? I think there's going to be a small increment.
Correct.
Price increases, right? I mean, you have these Redfin and a lot of other companies that are estimating anywhere from 1 to 3.5%, right? But I think it's going to happen. It's going to be very steady and very micro level. I think it's not going to be a very macro.
No, it's not going to jump. Okay, this is from what I've been reading also. Okay, of course there are different opinions. Everybody's got their own analysis.
Right.
But this is what I see. And talking to other agents and also people in the financial business. Home prices will increase, especially in the Bay Area.
Right.
But not astronomically. Okay. But we're going to have a slew of young buyers. We're going to have millennials are jumping back in.
Right.
Okay. We're going to have the Gen Zs too.
Yeah.
Okay. And they are going to be looking at smaller homes.
Right.
Okay. Maybe more into like the townhomes and the condos, because they don't like to deal with yard work and all that stuff, right? And they don't want to deal with the outside. They don't want to deal with the roof, So and they're okay. And here's another thing: green living.
Yeah, no, that's in
the
too
homes.
right now.
The homes that are going to be selling more in 2025 has to be very energy efficient.
Right. I mean, that's already happening, right? I mean, a lot of new builds and stuff. There's solar on them is a requirement. Right. Solar and electrical charging, Nest, and all these things, right? Right. Which is great. No, I get it. And the other thing is, like, there's an influx of money that's going to come off from the crypto side too. I mean, Bitcoin's at a staggering number. That's liquidity. End of the day, that's going to come in, right? So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I believe home prices will continue to jump. I don't think they're going to come down. I think as more of that money gets freed up and turns into liquidity, I think folks will buy more homes, especially if you have a movement in the rates, right? I mean, if the rates come down, even if
some even
even
if
50
they
basis
don't,
point or
it's
75 basis point,
right, right.
the
But
low sixes, it's
that
gonna be
will
the same
push
thing.
them. They're already there, ready to go. But that actually is more incentive.
Right, that will push the home prices
Yeah.
further. I know, I get it. And what other prediction you want? What other wild
That I
predictions
already
you
said
got?
that.
Wild.
That was
Okay, that was it.
crazy.
Wild. You were the Shibu
This is
coin, huh?
your turn.
Okay, the Shibu coin. My wild prediction. I'm gonna stick with sports because I've been doing fantasy leagues and stuff. So I'm gonna stick with sports. So I think I'm predicting Detroit Lions will win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay,
I have a feeling they're a great
$10
team.
bet.
Fine, I'll take them back. But I think they're a great team. I think they'll definitely. I think they probably deserve it too. It's been a
No, no
while.
Chiefs, huh?
No, I'm sick and tired of the Chiefs. Sorry, Chiefs fans. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Raider fan. I'm a Bay Area fan. So, but I think
Vegas now.
yeah, I
You
know.
gotta
But
go to Vegas just to watch them.
I think Lions are looking like a good team. Good defense, good offense, good. I mean, it's a good overall. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, and you need a well-rounded team.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true. Well, that's all we have in this episode, and we're going to bring in other professionals into our podcast as well to talk about their profession, their trade specifically as it relates to the topics we cover. So, but as of today, this is all we have for episode 1. I hope you guys like and subscribe our channel down below, and if you have any questions, put them down below, and we'll be able to help you guys. I'm sure we'll be able to help you guys, and or we can make a podcast around that too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're gonna be doing this regularly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
So we're gonna see you guys next time. Okay.
All right. See you guys.
Ciao.